Here's your First Warned Weather forecast first, sponsored by Anderson Collision Center. Visit driveanderson.com.
It was a warm afternoon across the state line. Temperatures made their way into the 90s for many of us, but it wasn't just warm here locally. Many other spots really across the Midwest made their way into the 90s as well. A little bit cooler when we look across the western plains. Now in the state line, things have cooled off a little bit as the sun has set. Many spots now down into the 70s. Temperatures will continue to fall down into the 60s once we get into the overnight hours tonight. We are stuck under mostly clear skies, but we cannot rule out a stray passing shower during the overnight hours tonight. Temperatures returning back into the 80s tomorrow, not quite as warm as it was this afternoon. That warmer stretch lasting a few more days before we get cooler next week. I'll let you know how quickly the cooler temperatures come coming up your most trusted forecast a little later.
Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 10 starts now.
The Winnebago County Sheriff's Office continues to investigate after a man is found dead inside a Rockford home. Investigators describe the case as suspicious. And runners pound the pavement in the name of a good cause. Organizers of the 911 run say funds raised will help make the community a safer place. Plus, during the week, state lawmakers came to a deal on the budget, but it came with some cuts. The end of one program has some schools worried about the future of their most in-need students. Good evening, I'm Jess Liptzin. Thanks for joining us tonight. Taylor Castro is off. We're continuing to wait for answers after a man is found dead in Rockford. This happened yesterday on Vincent Avenue near Ingersoll Golf Course. Winnebago County Sheriff deputies were called just before 4 in the afternoon. The man was found dead inside a home. Investigators say his death appears to be suspicious. It's not clear how the man died. He hasn't been identified. A few details have been released. If you have any information, call the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office or Rockford Area Crime Stoppers. An afternoon fire destroys a classic car in Rockton. This happened around 1:30 this afternoon. The car was fully engulfed when fire crews got there. The flames were knocked down quickly. No one was hurt. No word on what may have caused the fire. The car was a total loss. New video shows the moment an apartment building began to crumble in Davenport, Iowa. Emergency crews have ended their search for survivors. 3 people remain missing. It's believed they were home during the collapse. Crews are now focusing on stabilizing the building. They say that could help the search for potential victims who might be caught in some of the rubble. Engineers had warned the building was in need of repairs just before the collapse. State line runners braved the heat as Rockford Fire held its annual 911 run. It's a chance to get out, meet some firefighters, and of course raise money for a good cause. The 19th annual Rockford Fire 911 run brought out the community to share in the day's festivities and raise money for a good cause.
We had a great turnout, great weather. We like it this way. I think the runners would rather it be a little warm, and so great turnout, 275 runners today. So it's up from years past, and certainly since COVID, it's our highest attendance.
While it gives a chance for the folks to come together, the event is a big fundraiser for the department's education effort.
Not only do we respond to emergencies, but we also do it on the non-emergency aspect. That's being out in the community, being out educating people, being out installing smoke detectors, and doing everything that we can to make our homes safe as we can.
Fire prevention materials, handouts, any type of materials that we could to use to teach with, any equipment that would be valuable to teach with. Fire extinguisher props we bought recently, so those funds go towards that.
Thomas Baker took home first place in the 80 and over group. He said he loves to run and support a great cause.
Oh, it's super. It's really super. This is probably the maybe 8th or 9th year.
For the main race, the winners, they receive challenge coins. So it's really a cool thing. It's very significant in the military and the fire service.
Today's run also raised money for Camp IM. The Illinois Fire Safety Alliance camp is for children who are burn survivors. Rockford Fire will be able to send 1 camper to the 1-week experience. Some Illinois schools are worried about program cuts from this year's state's budget. Invest in Kids is set to end by the end of this year. The program allows people to donate money to nonprofits and get 75% income tax credit. That money goes towards scholarships meant to help lower-income students afford private school, but money for the program was not included in this year's budget, leaving it set to expire by the start of next year. Many Republican lawmakers were angered by the cut.
Parents this summer are going to have to decide Are they going to send their kids to a school that maybe they can afford for half a year and then get thrown out on their ear? Are they going to put their faith in the Illinois General Assembly to finally figure it out?
Governor Pritzker says if lawmakers extend Invest in Kids during the fall veto session, he would sign the bill. Governor Pritzker is calling on textbook publishers to stand up against political pressure to censor certain educational materials. Pritzker and 9 other governors sent a letter to publishers. They expressed concern it will negatively impact students. This comes after Illinois lawmakers passed a bill that would make libraries ineligible to get state money if they ban books. A spokesperson for the governor says in a statement, quote, "It is our hope that textbook publishers will do everything in their power to ensure Illinois schools remain a source of knowledge, creativity, and truth." The dangers of street violence can impact kids at an early age. One Central Illinois leader is doing his part to steer boys onto the right path. Banio Koromoa runs Visions to Succeed in Champaign County. That's where he operates his manhood training camp. There he shows boys the importance of hard work by doing yard work. The boys make $20 an hour mowing lawns and cleaning up trash.
We're countering the gang recruitment by providing a legitimate way for them to make some income. We're paying these young men to come out and take care of their city.
It helps people to have something to do and stay focused and not be like doing stuff that they're not supposed to.
Boys will learn more than new skills like landscaping and farm work once a week throughout the summer. A local nightclub helps kick off Pride Month in downtown Rockford. It's the 4th year the office has celebrated with its Pride Alley Party. There's live music, drag queen bingo, and pop-up drag shows. Food trucks are on hand to keep visitors fed and hydrated on this hot June day. Several vendors are also selling a wide array of merchandise. Organizers say the event takes months of planning.
We start taking vendor applications as soon as possible, and this year they sold out almost immediately. We actually had to make a couple room for a couple others. But yeah, the food trucks and the vendors, it's first come, first serve. They all sign up, and just a great opportunity for everybody to get out here, sell their goods.
The outdoor fun is open until 8. The music and late night drag show then moves inside the office nightclub. It's night 2 for Swifties to see their favorite singer perform for 3 hours. Coming up, the boom Chicago businesses are getting from her fans.
And our temperatures did not quite reach the 98-degree mark like our almanac suggests. We only made it to 91, but we are going to be a lot cooler as we get into the back half of the weekend. I'll let you know if we see any rain chances in our near future coming up in just a few minutes.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Taylor Castro, Regan Holgate, and meteorologist.
Businesses near Soldier Field in Chicago are feeling good this weekend. This as thousands pack downtown for big events like the Taylor Swift Eras Tour. Jeweler Hillary has more.
This is the weekend these teen girls from Mount Pleasant, Michigan have been waiting for months.
We've had the tickets for like 6 months, and I've been waiting for this for a long time.
Of course, the tickets she's talking about are for Taylor Swift's concert.
Oh my gosh, I love her. I love all of the eras and how she's just been able to put out music for so long.
While fans are living out their dreams, seeing Swift this weekend, business owners in and around the South Loop are excited about the influx of people filling up their seats.
It's been a spectacular weekend so far. We're really excited about all the activity. We're excited about the commerce that's started to come back to the city.
Martin Murch, chef, owner, and operator of Burger Bar Chicago, just walking distance from Soldier Field, says business is close to what it was before the pandemic. And on a weekend like this, he's expecting to cash in about 40% more revenue than normal. With Swift in town, Murch says the bar is serving up one of the pop stars' favorite meals.
We actually have a triple chocolate steak, so it's chocolate ice cream, chocolate syrup, chocolate whipped cream with chocolate chips, spectacular butter brioche USDA prime patty with cheese on it, and then a side of French fries. It is absolutely the #1 selling item on the menu.
Business is also good about a block away at Aurelio's Pizza, where every employee is on the schedule.
Other days, we'll have 1 or 2 servers to do the whole restaurant. Today we have 6 and food runners, bussers.
Along with placing Taylor Swift posters up and her playlist in rotation, Aurelio's is also serving a special Swift cocktail.
She tweeted a while ago about Empress Gin, the lavender lemonades, and we will be selling those all weekend.
That was Jewel Hillary reporting. It's been another hot one today across the state line. Temperatures reached back into the 90s. When we come back, Jordan gives us the look at the forecast. He'll tell us when the cool down comes from the heat.
Your first warned weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolfe.
Well, high temperatures today made their way into the 90s, not only in the state line, but also across a pretty broad area in the Midwest as well as the Great Lakes region. A couple spots downstate made their way into the mid-90s. We didn't have any spots here locally that made it quite that warm. Some spots did make their way into the low 90s across the area. We did make it to 90 degrees yesterday in Rockford and 91 today in Rockford, and that makes it now 2 days in a row that we hit the 90-degree mark. Normally around this time of year, we would expect to see high temperatures around the upper 70s. This is actually the first time that we've seen consecutive 90-degree days since early last August, when we made it to that 90-degree mark for a couple days in a row. Temperatures now are a lot cooler for the rest of the evening than they were earlier today, with many spots now still in the 70s, however. 75 right now in Rockford, 73 in Rochelle, 71 in DeKalb. Our dew points are sitting in the 50s, which is a little bit warmer than those dew points were earlier this evening, keeping those temperatures maybe a little bit more on the mild side, not allowing them to fall quite as quickly here into the evening. We are seeing a little bit of additional cloud cover trying to work its way through the area, but we still see the moon up there. Our SkyTrack camera overlooking downtown Rockford is brought to us by Window World. Partly cloudy skies is going to continue throughout the rest of the evening tonight. Satellite and radar not showing up anything as far as too much cloud cover is concerned, not really any as far as precipitation either. We could see a very spotty shower once we get after midnight tonight going into the very, very early part of tomorrow morning, but otherwise things are going to remain fairly clear for that overnight. We are down to 61 degrees for the overnight low, partly cloudy skies, a very, very small chance for an isolated shower as we get into the overnight. Tomorrow we are once again a little bit on the warmer side, but not nearly as warm as where we have been for the last couple of days, only topping out in the mid-80s for our afternoon high. 86 degrees in Rockford, some filtered sunshine, just a little bit cooler and slightly less on the humidity as well. Slightly, are those filtered sunshine going to be evident because of some wildfire smoke that we could see once again. Wildfires burning across parts of Canada will slowly filter its way toward our area, leading potentially to some hazier skies once we get into the afternoon, both tomorrow and possibly even going into Monday as well, before we eventually see that start to clear its way out of the area as we get into the middle of the week. As far as rain chances are concerned, we're not really looking at a whole lot. That very small chance for a passing shower overnight tonight, but then clear skies for the day tomorrow, otherwise, other than that wildfire smoke. And then we could see another chance for some rain with the cold front that comes in as we get late Monday going into the early part of Tuesday morning. We are seeing a lot drier once we get beyond that as well, and also a little bit on the cooler side once that cold front passes. Our high temperatures go from the mid-80s on Sunday and Monday down to the low 80s and upper 70s, a lot closer to normal for this time of year once we get into the middle part of the week. The longer-term outlook is still favoring drier conditions from the Climate Prediction Center outlook, still favoring those below normal precipitation amounts, at least here locally, between the 9th and the 13th of this month. During that same time period, it's going to be favoring slightly below normal temperatures as well. This is a little bit of a pattern flip as of lately, as we have seen a lot of these outlooks favoring above normal temperatures in that short term, but we could be seeing that pattern flip just a little bit, might get at least a little bit closer to normal for this time of year as we get into the middle of the month. Normal high temperatures for this time of year is getting a little bit closer to that 80-degree mark once we get into the middle part of the month. That's where we're going to be seeing temperatures at least pretty close to that mark for the middle of the month. Mid-80s, at least for the next couple of days, a slight chance for some rain once we get into Monday and late Monday going into the early part of Tuesday. A lot drier once we get into the middle of the week, Jess. Temperatures a lot closer to normal for this time of year as well.
Thanks, Jordan. Regan's in next with sports. The Hononegah baseball team had a chance to capture a sectional championship today, which would be just their second sectional title in school history.
Now sports with Regan Holgate.
It was another big day for the Hononegah baseball boys as they went after a 4A sectional championship. They took on Algonquin Jacobs at Dundee Crown. Senior Maddox Hibbard got the start on the mound for what could have been his final game in a Hano jersey. Bottom of the first now, Jeremiah Olson with the grounder. It gets through and Landon Seymour scores. Next batter is Austin Dresser. He'll knock this one through the gap in right field, and another run comes in. That gives Hano an early 2-0 lead. Now to the third, it's Olson again at the plate, this time with the sac fly, and Hibbard will safely make it home. 3-run lead for the good guys. Hibbard back on the hill in the fourth in a bit of a jam with 2 on and 2 outs on the board, but he'll strike out Nathan Gerritsen to close the inning. Big stuff from the senior today. Hibbard hit his pitch limit in the top of the 7th. He was just a few shy of a complete game shutout. He allowed no runs or hits through 6 innings and had 6 strikeouts. Head coach Matt Simpson said it was the best pitching they've seen from him in 2 years. Jacob Delio took the mound and would try to close this one out. They needed 2 more outs, but then comes this blast from Jacobs, Jack Seller, and it's a goner, a 2-run homer, and they cut the deficit to 1. It's 3-2 now. Hano needs 1 more out, and they will get it. Seymour makes the catch to seal it. Hononegah wins 3-2 to take the 4A sectional championship, only their 2nd in school history. The Sycamore baseball boys are still cooking in the postseason. They beat Burlington Central today to take the 3A sectional championship. They will take on Rock Island in the Supers. The White Sox took another from the Tigers today. It finished 2-1 in 10 innings. The Sox walked it off after a wild pitch hit the ump in the face. Hopefully he's okay. And how about this? In just his 2nd game back with the Sox after he closed out cancer, Liam Hendricks closes out Zach Short for his first strikeout of the year. He was not short of emotion after that one. He was pretty fired up. He pitched 1 inning and with that 1 strikeout. Top amateur and pro disc golfers from Illinois have been going at it today at Rockford's Anna Page Park, and not just competitors from Illinois, but some from as far away as Tennessee, Nebraska, and even North Carolina. They're competing in the Forest City Frenzy. It's a 2-day event that's part of the Illinois Open Series. Players are competing not just for a win this weekend, but also for points on the season series. Disc golf is kind of like regular golf. The object is to get from a tee area to a basket at the end of each hole in as few throws as possible. It can be challenging though, especially for the pros on the tough South course who have to maneuver their discs around and between numerous trees. That's why each player has several discs that are designed for different throws, much like golfers have different clubs for different shots. The competitors say it's just a fun sport.
It's easier on the body. I was a soccer player, so kind of have a little bit of injury. So coming out, I feel there's more longevity in disc golf, and honestly, this is a really good community. All the card mates I kind of just met except for one, and we're vibing really well.
There are 17 divisions for players this weekend. 268 competitors entered the tournament. It will continue Sunday. Now in some golf scores, round 1 of the Atwood Crosstown Classic was today at Ledges Golf Club in Roscoe. Peter Jr. tops the leaderboard after a 2-under 70. The defending champ, Robert Doffermeyer, is 1 stroke behind at 1 under. Then Jamie Hogan, Justin Christensen, and Dallas Tracer round out the top 5, all at even par. The final round is tomorrow at Atwood Homestead Golf Course. That's sports. We'll be right back.
So I know it's going to cool down a little bit after the 90s, but I think we can all, we're all happy with that. It's 90s is a lot.
Right, and it's getting into the summer season. It's starting to feel a lot more like summer as well. We got into the unofficial start of summer with Memorial Day, and it really felt like summer throughout this entire week with highs in the upper 80s and low 90s over the last couple of days. We have clear skies, though, right now, and that's actually cooling our temperatures off on the First Warn Interactive Radar from Rockford Auto Glass and More. The back half of the weekend going to remain a little bit on the cooler side as we get into the rest of the week ahead. Our 7-day forecast, if I can get it pulled up here in a moment. See if the graphic just didn't want to work right, but here we go. 7-day forecast, if it loads in time, it's going to show off some of those temperatures into the 80s as we get into the back half of the week. Unfortunately, it didn't make it in time.
Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your night.